This is you, scrolling through your phone at 2 a.m., wondering if the reason your love life is a disaster is because Mercury is in retrograde, or maybe because you're a snake in the Chinese zodiac. But here's the real question. Between Chinese astrology and Western astrology, which one is actually right? Or are both just ancient cosmic scams wrapped in stardust? Let's rip this apart. Astrology has been around longer than most civilizations. Western astrology traces its roots back to the Babylonians over 2,000 years ago. They noticed that the movement of planets across the sky seemed to line up with events on Earth: wars, famines, rulers rising and falling. From there, the Greeks picked it up, slapped titans on it, and created the 12 familiar signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, all the way to Pisces. The basic claim: your birth date determines your personality, strengths, weaknesses, and destiny. Now, across the world in ancient China, another system was forming. But instead of planets, they looked at cycles of years. They saw the world as a series of repeating patterns tied to the movement of Jupiter, which takes about 12 years to orbit the sun. And so was born the Chinese zodiac: rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, pig. But that's not all. Each sign is also tied to one of the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Meaning your birth year doesn't just say you're a dragon, it might say you're a fire dragon, which carries a completely different set of traits and destinies. Here's where things get weird. Western astrology says who you are is written in the stars, frozen at the moment you took your first breath. Chinese astrology says you're part of an endless repeating cycle, one that influences not just who you are, but the type of people you're compatible with, the luck you'll have in life, and even the best time for marriage or business. 2 very different maps of destiny, yet both claim to be the truth. But here's the kicker. Both systems can't be right. Or can they? Let's test them. Western astrology says if you're a Virgo, you're meticulous, analytical, maybe a little bit of a perfectionist. Chinese astrology might say, hold on, you're also a monkey, which means you're playful, mischievous, and sometimes too clever for your own good. So now you're left wondering, am I a neat freak or a chaotic trickster, or some disturbing mix of both? Scientists have been skeptical for centuries. Psychological studies show that astrology works mostly because of something called the Forer effect, the tendency for humans to believe vague, general statements apply specifically to them. When a horoscope says you have hidden talents and sometimes struggle with self-doubt, nearly everyone nods along, because who doesn't feel that way? That's why both Chinese and Western astrology can feel eerily accurate, not because they're true, but because they're written in a way that could apply to anybody. But conspiracy lovers, here's the unsettling part. Governments and leaders throughout history have taken astrology dead seriously. In China, emperors would delay wars, crown heirs, or even execute rivals based on astrological predictions. In the West, Queen Elizabeth I consulted her court astrologer, John Dee, before making political decisions. Even Ronald Reagan's White House was rumored to schedule events around his wife's astrologer. If these systems are nothing but cosmic nonsense, why do powerful people keep trusting them? Maybe, just maybe, there's more to it. Think about this. Western astrology is based on the exact positions of celestial bodies at your birth. But here's the catch. They haven't updated the system in thousands of years. Thanks to something called the precession of the equinoxes, the stars have shifted. So technically, if you think you're a proud Leo, you might actually be a Cancer now. That means the entire Western zodiac is already out of alignment, and yet millions still swear by it. Chinese astrology, meanwhile, is based on cycles that don't rely on fixed star positions. Instead, it maps human life onto cosmic rhythms: Jupiter's orbit, the 5 elements, the yin-yang duality. In a strange way, it might actually be closer to how nature really works: cycles, repetition, balance. Could it be that Chinese astrology is secretly more scientific than the Western version? Before I answer that, let me hit pause and say this. If you're enjoying this cosmic rabbit hole, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me your sign, both Western and Chinese. I'm curious, are you a Sagittarius rat, a Scorpion dragon, or maybe the rare double Gemini? Here on Stick Exposed, we break down the stories they don't want you to question, so don't miss the next one. Back to the mystery. Here's where the conspiracy deepens. What if astrology wasn't designed to predict your personality, but to control you? Think about it. If an emperor tells the people that the stars demand obedience, or if a ruler convinces soldiers they're destined for victory because they were born in a, quote, lucky year, astrology becomes a tool of power. Both East and West used it not just for guidance, but for manipulation. The stars became propaganda. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Even today, in the age of satellites and space telescopes, billions of dollars are made every year on horoscopes, zodiac apps, compatibility readings, and feng shui masters. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry powered by our need to believe that the universe has a plan for us. So which one is right? The answer may be simpler and scarier than you think. Both Chinese and Western astrology are built on the same human weakness, our desperate craving for meaning in a chaotic universe. The stars don't care. The planets don't care. Jupiter will keep orbiting whether you're getting married, divorced, rich, or broke, but we care. And that's why astrology, whether it's written in constellations or carved into animal ears, still rules human imagination. So the next time someone asks you your sign, here's the real question you should be asking yourself. Are you answering with the stars, or are you answering with centuries of tradition, belief, and maybe manipulation? Because when you strip away the myths, here's the truth. Neither system is right, but both are powerful, and in the end, maybe that's all that matters. But let me leave you with one more thought. Imagine thousands of years ago, humans looked up at the night sky. No electricity, no screens, just endless stars. They saw patterns, they saw order, they saw science. And maybe, just maybe, they were onto something we've forgotten. Not that the stars literally control your love life, but that humans are wired to live by cycles. The seasons, the moon, the tides, even our own heartbeat. We are creatures of rhythm. Chinese astrology, Western astrology, these systems might just be distorted echoes of an ancient truth. A truth that says we're not as free as we think. We're bound, not by destiny written in the heavens, but by patterns so old we don't even notice them anymore. And here's the creepiest part. If those patterns are real, then astrology might not be nonsense at all. It might just be in misinterpreted science. The ancients may have glimpsed a universal code hidden in cycles of time, a code modern science hasn't cracked yet. So the real question isn't which astrology is right. The real question is, what are we not seeing? And if rulers, presidents, and empires have always kept astrology close at hand, maybe the conspiracy isn't that it's fake. Maybe the conspiracy is that it's real enough to be useful, and they don't want you knowing how much it still controls decisions today. So the next time you check your horoscope, don't just laugh it off. Ask yourself, is this really entertainment, or am I glimpsing a fragment of an ancient system designed to keep humanity in line? Whatever you believe, one thing is certain. The stars will keep shining, the cycles will keep turning, and humans will keep searching for meaning in the patterns. This is Stick Exposed, where the truths you think you know are only the beginning. If you felt that cosmic chill tonight, hit like, subscribe, and drop your sign in the comments. Who knows? Maybe your comment will line up with someone else's destiny. Until then, keep questioning and keep looking up.